Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Shelley, and as a busy mum and entrepreneur, I wanted to give you some of the tips and tricks that I use to manage my time and make my limited time as productive as possible. So today I'm going to share with you a few of the tips I use to help me get through my days and get as much done as possible. As a busy mum and entrepreneur, I literally do the school run and come home, and certain days I have set for appointments and other days I have set for days where I'm just at home and focusing on all the things I've got to do. So what I do is I set myself half-an-hour slots where I allocate a task per half an hour. Some tasks may take two slots, which is an hour, so I allocate various slots for each item that I have to do. I might not necessarily get everything done on my list, but what I do is if I can get a bit done of a lot of things on the list, then that's better than just spending the whole day doing one task and not getting it completed. I read a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and it's sort of the thing that gripped me was that if you do a little bit of something every day, then it will lead to greater results. I'll put a link to the book if you're interested in buying it. It really helped me, and you can get it on Audible as well. One of the key things I do every day to start my day off is I write lists. I wake up in the morning, after I've set my alarm for 6 o'clock, I will write a list of everything that I need to do throughout the day. I don't aim to achieve everything that I've written on my list, but it just clears my mind so I know that I'm not thinking, oh yes, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I just find if everything's written down on paper, it's there in front of me, and then I can allocate the time that I need to for each task. But I find this really helpful. You can have it on your phone. I like to have it on paper, then I can cross it out, and then I do a new list every day. But that's one of my key things that I've been doing for years and years now, and I find it works with me. And then if I want to put it onto my computer or onto my phone, if I'm out and about, then that's fine. But it always starts off as being on my notebook. If you're employed and you're looking for a change in employment, a different career, possibly you're looking to work for yourself or maybe even study on a part-time basis, and you're struggling to find time to fit time to research in, well, set aside 15 minutes, even a half an hour or an hour if you can, of your day, and use that time solely for researching either your end goal. So researching if you're looking for a new job, looking for jobs, updating your CV. If you're looking for maybe to study something, use that. Maybe if you can spare an hour, to spend an hour doing studying. If you're possibly looking to leave your job to start working for yourself, spend half an hour to an hour just researching what you're good at, what you'd like to do, and look into if you have to study for that or learn how to do that process, then use that time just for that. And then if you do a little bit every day, you can maybe, if you start off with 15 minutes and then move up to a half an hour, you'll soon reach your end goal, and then you can make that transition, but knowing that you spent time for months and months researching it and using that little bit of time to get to your end goal. I rarely have time to read, and I find if I sit in bed and read, just before I go to bed, I rarely get past 1 or 2 pages. So I've started listening to Audible. I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and I feel that I've been able to listen to so many more books than I would have been able to read. Audible has a 30-day subscription, and then you pay for your books via you buy tokens, and then you can use them against books that you want to read. I really enjoy doing it this way, and it also means that I can listen to the audiobooks whilst I'm doing my house cleaning, or in the car on the way back from doing the school run when I haven't got any kids in the car, and even things like doing ironing, I can listen to an audiobook. So I just find it really useful for me, and it means I'm able to listen to self-help books and books that I like listening to whilst I'm doing tasks that I don't really have to think about. When you work for yourself and you're based at home, sometimes it's very easy to pick at unhealthy snacks and work by your desk. I do find it hard to take myself away from my work, and I literally just go into the kitchen and grab whatever's quick. So what I have started to do is prepare healthy snacks, and I'll do this every maybe 3 days, and I'll prepare enough so that there's enough that I can go into the fridge and just pick a pot of something healthy, you know, in between. So even if I am snacking in between meals, it's on something relatively healthy. When the children have gone to bed, I set aside half an hour where I do something just for me. So it could be things like just watching half an hour of crap TV, where I don't have to think about anything, I don't look at my phone, or sometimes I might prepare my snacks. I use that time just to do something that's going to benefit me. I find this half an hour I use to just recharge my battery. I'll sit down, put my feet up and do something I want to do. So even if it's like colouring in, doodling, just something where I'm not thinking about anything. I don't look at emails, I don't think about work that I've got to do or things on my to-do list. I just use it time for me. So paint my nails or just something, even if I want to sew something, I just take that time out, at half an hour, just for me. Another thing that I've started to do to help my productivity is setting myself a bedtime. I used to go to bed past like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then I'd be up at 6 o'clock, and in between that time I'd probably have one of the kids wake up in the night for one reason or another. So I found I was getting less than 5 hours sleep, and by 2 o'clock in the day I was absolutely shattered, and I'd be doing work to do with figures and I'd be dozing off at my desk. So what I've started to do is at 10:30 is cut off, no work. I generally do work in the evening once the kids have gone to bed as well as during the day. So I'll stop my work at 10:30, and for that last half an hour I'll either listen to my audiobook or wind down or prepare things for the next day for tomorrow. So make sure all the school clothes and clothes are ironed for school and nursery, prepare packed lunches and everything, all that sort of mum stuff. But I make sure that I'm in bed by 11, and I might just have a quick surf on Instagram, and then I'll go to bed. And then I set my alarm for 6 o'clock, and when my alarm's set I never press a snooze, and I get up straight away, because I know if I press snooze I'll probably sleep through the snooze, and then it'll be like 9 o'clock and it'll be just a nightmare. So yeah, if you can, try not to press a snooze when the alarm goes up. Get straight out of bed and just get started. And I think that's easier to do if you have a decent amount of sleep. So I started doing that, and that really helps me. Another thing I like to do is limit my social media time. Sometimes when I'm eating my lunch, I'll sit at my desk, and I'm happy to do that then. Limit myself to half an hour of going between Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. If I decide during the day that I do want to have a little flick, I set myself a 10-minute limit, because it's very easy to be scrolling through your news feeds and all the various news that's on these social media sites, and within minutes that minute has turned to like an hour. So it's not a good use of time unless you're doing Facebook ads or various Instagram ads. Then that's fine, as long as that's factored into your time. But I limit myself to just random social media scrolling to 10 minutes. Another thing I do that really helps me is when I come home from doing the school run, I'll literally go through every room and just give it a quick tidy, spending less than 5 minutes per room to make sure everything's tidy, put back in its place, whiz around with the hoover, and this then saves having to spend hours and hours and hours, like once or twice a week, going through the whole house tidying up. So I'll have one day a week where I spend like a few hours or a morning doing the whole house. But I find as I've kept on top of the house throughout the week, it really helps with speeding up the time that I have to spend doing the whole house. That I find really useful is if you maybe work for yourself and you have lots of tasks that you need to do that probably you could delegate or outsource to other people. I do that. I go onto Fiverr and I have people design logos or graphics that I need designing. If you can do that yourself, then fine, but that's not one of my strong points, so I feel if I can get someone else to do it and they can do it quicker and better, then I'll pay someone else to do that. If you've got like data entry work or admin type tasks that you can outsource, then do so. One of the things I do is I sell on Amazon, and I've recently taken on a VA, and she sources my her business sources my products for me, and I found them so useful. All the things sell that she provides me with a daily list Monday to Friday, and I literally just go through and pick what I want to do, pick what I want to buy from that list. I do my quick due diligence on each item that I decide to buy, but that's really saved me so much time, and I think that's helped in my sales. So if you can find something in what you're doing that's taking too much of your time and you could spend your time doing something else, then outsource it. I don't have time to do exercise. I know I should make time, and I probably can slot exercise into my daily routine, maybe going to the gym, because I'm not that motivated to do it myself. But I have got a Fitbit, which I absolutely love, and I do monitor my steps that I do. So on days where I'm not doing, on days where I'm working from home and I'm not going to accumulate many steps. What I do is I do steps if I'm doing my ironing, or if I'm going to the kitchen, I'll sort of jog. And what I have been doing this week only is I've set every hour, I set 1 minute, and I do like loads of like power steps. This probably isn't a really good exercise technique, but I find it works for me, and it means I get my daily steps in. I've set sort of goals on my Fitbit. Access the data on your phone. I really like this app actually, because you can also see how many hours you've had to sleep, which is really useful for me. I'll try and accumulate my steps, and I try and meet my daily goal of my steps, so I know at least if I'm sat at my desk and not getting a chance to do much exercise, I've actually worked up the number of steps I want to do. Hope you found some of these tips really useful. I use most of them, and it just helps me be more productive and stops me flitting from one thing to another. So please do like this video if you liked it, or add some comments below on what you do to help manage your time and productivity. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.